So you're gonna watch me saw up this slab. There's a lot of ways to saw up a slab. It's not much different than cutting a hunk of butter. But if you're really wanting to take it to the next level, there is a right way to do it and there is a wrong way to do it. Thanks for visiting our sawmill. Well, we're back, folks. Back to the old hobby hardwood. The video today is going to be about live edge slabs. I say that with a little reluctance because live edge slabs are not the most technically challenging wood to cut. Basically, you just start whacking through it. You pretty much violate all the things that I say you should never do when you're sawing. So I'm going to show you a few tricks because you can slab it like it's a hunk of pork, or you can slab it like it's a filet mignon, which is a steak for all you vegetarians out there. I know there are a lot of green people who support sawmills, and if you are watching and are environmentally conscious, have at it. Appreciate y'all being here. I mean, if nothing else, we are a green sawmill. I mean, just look at what we do. I mean, we're doing our best to rid the earth of oxygen as we cut trees into lumber. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Let's move on before I get Greenpeace all over me. Literally. All right, so you can take a log and you can cut it into live edge slabs, and I'm not even going to mark it because if you can't follow this without me marking it, then we need to change the subject to basket weaving or something simple. If you're going to live edge slab something, you just whack it, right? No. So you still should be remembering about the things that cause boards to not dry flat. You should still think about things where boards will maybe crack, and typically that is this little guy right here. The juvenile wood, the garbage that is going to cause your live edge slabs to crack if you just keep going right through here. Trust me. As a matter of fact, yesterday I sawed some up through the pith thinking it would, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking, yeah, I might ought to use that for a video of what not to do. I came out this morning. These things are so cracked, it's embarrassing. But I'll show you why you don't saw live edge slabs through the pith unless you have a very strong customer base who doesn't mind spending a lot of money on epoxy to fill all those cracks. First of all, you want to try to identify the stress and imagine in your brain what the slabs are going to do. And trying to keep it flat, I would be taking boards in this direction because I know that if the stress is in this direction, this board is trying to go this way, this half of the log's trying to go that way, that half of the log's trying to go that way. Any board taken like this is going to bow up. Any board taken like that is going to bow down. Any boards taken over here are going to stay, any boards taken from here over are going to stay flat, but they're going to try to curve. They're still going to try to bow up in the same plane that the log is splitting. Has that stress. So this little guy right here is your road map. If you ever, speaking of maps, if you ever look at the compass rose on a map, north, south, east, west, that cute little X or star, that indicates the direction you're going. It's the same thing when you see this heart check in the juvenile core of the pith. I can keep throwing funky nomenclature at you, but basically that's the crack. And that tells you how to drive the log depending on the product you're trying to make. Because I know that the stress is in the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock position, I'm going to take my live edge here. And I'm going to take my live edge here. They will dry flat, but they will try to curve, and who cares, because it's a live edge slab and it's not straight anyway. You may ask, What do you do with this mess? Because if I start to take that right through there, these guys are going to crack. I know they're going to crack. I don't like sawing cracked wood. What you do then is you try to leave a certain amount of usable lumber right here, 8 inches. Remember, face grade lumber, 6 inch and wider. Remember your NHLA grade rules. I'm sure y'all got them memorized. Then what you do is you start taking what I call filler boards. That would be this guy, this guy, this guy, maybe to there, and so on. A lot of people that want live edge slabs want tables that are massively wide, say 4 foot. Well, how are you gonna make a 4 foot table out of a 28 inch log? Well, you're gonna have to get 2 slabs and join them together. So by the time you cut all the stuff off of it, you may still end up several inches shy of being the right width. What do you do as a customer? What do you do as a business? You simply say, hey y'all, buy one of these slabs, edge it out, get a couple of pieces of these filler boards, glue them in the middle. Now you can make this thing as wide as you want to. Not only will it look correct, but they're cut from the same log. Does that make sense? I hope so. So if I've got 20 logs and I get 6 slabs per log, well, I mean, that's 120 slabs. Plus the filler wood, man, that's all you need, right? Yes, I am losing some slabs, but I'm getting a better product, and I still can get basically as many slabs as I can stand to cut. I hate planing slabs. I really don't like sawing slabs. I like selling slabs. That's why I'm doing it. So anyway, that's the idea. Take the side slabs off, come back, turn the can up, blow through that, take some lumber, burn this piece of garbage right there, and everybody's happy. Move on to the next log, and before you know it, there'll be several pallets of slabs ready to get stacked and dried. So here's what happens when you cut a slab through the pith, or at least the juvenile core / garbage wood. This is what they look like. They have this huge crack. Here's what happens when you don't. There are no cracks. If you do, there are cracks. It's pretty bored. It's going to take about $100 worth of epoxy to fill that beast, or don't. Same thing here. You can see right here where the center of the log is. The juvenile core is right here, and right off the edge there's a big old stress crack. This crack was not in it when I cut it, but I went right through it. The crack propagated from right here. That's where the stress was, and look at what she did. I mean, you can actually see fresh split. This must have happened just a little while ago. So when you're sawing wood as a business, you've got to look at a lot of things, and money is one of them, and customer satisfaction is one of them. So you have to keep everything in mind as you're sawing. So you're gonna watch me saw up this slab. There's a lot of ways to saw up a slab. It's not much different than cutting a hunk of butter. But if you're really wanting to take it to the next level, there is a right way to do it and there is a wrong way to do it. Let's get this thing rotated the way I want it to be. Ooh, let's open up my dust collector. All right. First thing, we're gonna rotate this guy. I get that crack vertical. And I don't have my toe boards to help me. So I don't have my toe boards to help me. I'm actually off of them. Just what happens when you load a log. Sometimes you don't get on the toe board. I'm just going to lift it up using a chain turner and the 2-plane clamp. That looks pretty level. Go ahead and look at this. It looks pretty good. Let's pull it off. should be able to get one more now. Almost no sawdust. I'm a big fan of almost no sawdust. Log's pretty big. You got to be careful not to flip it over the backstop. I mean, this is a pretty nice sized sawmill. It ain't the biggest, but you don't really want that big hunk of wood slamming down on your deck if you can help it. It's almost maxed out my log clamp. I mean, I've got maybe an inch of travel. So that'll kind of tell you how wide this guy is. I normally do put a few tips or a tip or two in these videos. These are real tips. This is an important one. You've got the log clamp. You can see it because the camera's on this side. If you come over here, you've got the backstop. If you've ever wondered what fancy device or failsafe keeps a sawmill band from running into this big hunk of metal, there isn't any. That's up to you. You're the one driving it, right? So there's a habit you should always get into. Always, always with a capital A, always. When I'm driving right here, this is my view. You can't see anything. Yeah, I can move over and get right here where the logs and the boards are coming back and get killed. But even from here, I cannot see that backstop. I mean, can you? You got x-ray vision or something? And yes, I could stop what I'm doing, crab around. Oh, look, there it is. Come back and go, oh, look, there's my backstops. But no, you don't do that. So you always, 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 when you're setting your backstops and your log clamp, put your backstops higher than your log clamp. Doesn't matter if it's a ½ inch, doesn't matter if it's an inch, doesn't mean if it's 3 inches. You just have to get in the habit because you can see your backstops. You can't see your log clamp without slowing down and stopping and doing all kinds of stuff. But the main thing is if your band clears those backstops, it's going to clear your log clamp even though you can't see it. See what I'm talking about? Miss that. Definitely miss that. If the clamp, for one reason or another, is higher, sooner or later you're going to forget it's higher because you can't see it and you're going to slam that blade into that backstop, and that causes a lot of sparks and it causes a lot of damage. You just don't want to do it. A lot of bad things happen when you crash a sawmill. Back to sawing. I'm going to try to set where my pillar boards are going to come out to about 8 inches. I got it set here at 8 inches on my AccuSet. That's flipping between 8 and 1/32. I guess that's close enough. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to use what's called the auto up function. I've got it set to 2 3/8. So all I have to do now is hit my trigger. It's going to go up 2 3/8, which is one board. It's going to go up 2 3/8, which is another board. I'm going to see where that is. That's not a bad cut. Now I know when I take that slice, I can go back to my program, and this time I'm going to do auto down, program 2, which for me is 2 3/8. And I know I will get a perfect cut and end up with an 8-inch cant at the end. Use it to push this whole stack out of my way. I'm in auto down. Click the little button. I drop down to my next cut. Still in auto down mode. Right here. Click. The head goes, look, it magically showed back up at 8 inches. which is where I wanted it to be. Isn't that special? Big old hunk of wood. Some people may just saw all the way down. It's really not what you want to do. The dog board is the lowest board on the sawmill. That's typically the one that's going to show the most stress and defects and isn't going to sit the way you want. It's going to wave. So normally that's the one that you want on the mill because you're going to throw out, if it's the pith, you're going to throw it out anyway, or use it for firewood. So instead of sawing all the way down, just simply saw down to where this dog board is lowest on the bed. So I'm going to saw down to about there, give or take. Unload all these guys. I'm going to take this, flip it down, then I'm going to saw here. That will be the worst board. It will be the dog board, and I'll look at it, most likely it's going over there into the burn pit. And those look pretty good, don't they? Yes, they do. And the cool thing is a customer can buy them and they're not going to crack. You don't know who Ricky Bobby is, just Google it. And he's got two phrases I really like. If you ain't first, you're last. That's a fact. And I just want to go fast. So now that I've filmed and I've cut my slabs, I've got this beautiful hunk of wood right here. And I'm going to dial the sawmill up to Ricky Bobby speed. Do the old flip, get this thing rolled over. Now I'm right here at my dog board. I'll make one more cut. That's it. Don't get me wrong, sawing slabs is part of the business these days. There's a right way and a wrong way, or I should say a hobby hardwood way, and however you want to do it. Our way is backed up by a few $1 million worth of lumber sales. Doesn't say it's right, I'm just saying it works for me. You may want to do things completely different. And that's certainly your prerogative, because I was going to make a Ricky Bobby quote, but I think I'm going to make a Bob Ross quote. You know, the guy who used to paint with the big fuzzy hair, kind of like mine. Like, painting is fun, and I don't paint. However, I do like running a sawmill, and sawmilling's fun. So y'all have fun running your sawmill. Have some fun making some live edge slabs. Have some fun doing some Ricky Bobby stuff, because that is fun, and we will see y'all next time. Thanks for visiting our sawmill. Click on the links above to see more of our videos.